Hey guys, Tammy here, Reiki and Yoga.com. Thank you for coming back to your energy companion and knowing and learning some of the techniques and tricks to helping us decipher some of the body's messages that are being sent to us. So I see people every single week and this is mostly for Reiki, but also for other different modalities as well. And a lot of times people come in and they'll say something like, oh, my neck is so sore. So we'll start to decipher what's going on. So the neck area has to do, if you look at the emotional sources of disease, the neck area has to do with our responsibility and things literally becoming a pain in the neck. So then we decipher this between right side of the body versus left side of the body. So what does it mean if the right side of the neck is tender? The right side of the neck normally has to do with work-related issues. So I would ask you what kind of responsibilities are happening at work that you're just taking on too much and it's becoming an overload for your body. And once it is in this overload state, remember we've been talking about emotion affects the mind, affects the body. So when the emotions are overloaded, it's now showing up as an imbalance in the neck area. And another thing that happens quite often with my clients is worry. Well, not only with my clients, with everybody, I guess. I used to be probably a pretty professional worrier. I'd spend so much time just worrying about everything, really. People, places, times, whatever. I was worried about it. And it took a lot of work, a lot of self-work to clear the worrying aspect out of my life. Not that I'm a professional at it now. I still worry, obviously, but it's nothing like I used to be. Honestly, it was bad. It was like 24/7 worry. So one of the two quotes I'd like to share with you about worry, one, and I'm not sure who said this one, but it's one of my very favorite quotes of all time, and it says, "Worry is like a rocking chair. It will give you something to do, but it won't get you anywhere." And I think that that is really, really fundamental to remind ourselves that really what happens when you're in a rocking chair, not much of anything. You go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, but it doesn't change anything substantially. Now, the other one I just read on Facebook the other day and is from Wiz Khalifa, and I really like this one. I'm just going to read it. It's worry is stupid. It's like walking around with an umbrella waiting for it to rain. Now, I probably wouldn't use the word stupid myself. However, we think about that same thing. Would you walk around on a normal day? Okay, some people walk around with an umbrella in the sun just to keep the sun off of them, and granted, that's fine. But would you walk around with an umbrella on a normal average day if it's not raining, nor is there any rain to be predicted for that day? Obviously, you wouldn't, right? So why spend all of our time in this state of worry? So we're talking about worry just because it's tangible, because it's easy for people to understand, and it's one thing that we pretty much all of us have in common. So let's talk about some different ways that you can help to release worry from your life. Now, there's a couple of different aspects of this. If you think about worry, and what it affects. In the Taoist Sounds for Healing, it's believed that worry is associated with your stomach and your pancreas. So anytime that you are in this negative state of worry, it is affected in this whole area of your body. So to release it, they offer us the sound who, W-H-O, and allow yourself to chant a long and drawn out who sound when you're worried. So let's try that right now. So consider something that is a concern for you or something that you're worried about. And I'll just give you a minute to find that in your mind. Some people have it right away, instantly. It's like, oh yeah, I'm worried about this. Other people have to dig around a little bit more to find, okay, what exactly am I worried about? Where can I find this worry? Where is there worry in my life? Okay, good. I've got one. Found one. See, it took a little bit to find one, which is unbelievable because, like I said, I used to be a professional worrier. Some 10 years ago, I would have had like a list for you right straight away. Anyhow, so I've got my idea of worry in my mind, and now I'm going to release it. I'm going to have a really great long and tall seated posture. I'm going to take a nice big breath, thinking about my worry, and as I exhale, whoo. Sounds kind of like a chanting monk, doesn't it? Okay, let's do that again. We're going to repeat it a few times. So a full inhale, thinking of your worry. Excellent. Just let that sound reverberate for a moment longer. And as it's reverberating, remind yourself of the opposite of worry, and that is this idea of trust. You see, when we get caught up in this state of worry and concern, so much for other people, we've forgotten that we're not in charge of this game of life anyways. That it doesn't matter how much we worry or we add to with our thinking as far as a concern goes, we're not going to change anything for anyone. I had someone come into my life this week and they said, you know what, I'm really worried about you because, and they filled in the blank of the reason that they were worried. And I said, well, you know what, I'm really glad that you're worried about that because I'm not worried about it at all. And I couldn't get it through their mind to not be worried or not be concerned about this thing that we were talking about. And the person just, it didn't compute for them. They basically said, I'm going to be worried for you for 1 year. Okay, you can be worried for 1 year. I'm personally not going to waste any more of my time spending it on something I'm not interested in having a focus on. Why would I? I'm trusting that I'm being divinely guided. I'm trusting that I am knowing my path and that I'm following through on my path. And see, this is the thing. When we worry, we forget that we're being divinely guided, first and foremost. And second of all, we've forgotten to trust the universe. The universe knows what it's doing. It knows where to take us and it knows where to go, right? Where we should go. Not that the universe is telling us off, but it's guiding us. Okay, so something else that I tell people to do, I've used this one myself. There isn't one technique that I suggest for people, by the way, that I haven't used myself. I don't tell anyone to do anything that I know doesn't work. If it works, we use it. If it doesn't work, why bother suggesting it, right? So the first thing I suggest with this is to have a couple of Post-it notes, and on those Post-it notes, write the word trust. And put those notes all around your house, so that you see them really often. Now, I know I had my sentence for the longest time was rise above it because I had some issues of depression and I was really having trouble and some struggles dealing with my depression. I know a lot of people do, and I was no different from the others dealing with it. So I wrote the words rise above it on little pieces of paper and I did it off the computer. I put a little cute picture with it, cut them up, put them all over the place. In fact, if you walk through my house today, I'm sure you'll still find some of those pieces of paper that say rise above it hidden in little spots here, there, and everywhere. So use the word trust when you're in this state of worry, and make sure it's somewhere where you see it. And not only see it, because eventually it just becomes a part of our autopilotness, in that we look at it, yeah, trust, whatever, and we keep on going. And we forget to even honor that word. So when you look at that word, remind yourself, especially when you're in that worried state, to don't worry about it anymore, right? You're trusting, not worrying. So here's the things we've got so far. We've got the Taoist sound for healing, that we can whoo away that worry, right? We can write the word trust on a piece of paper, and also in your mind when you're thinking about this item, whatever it might be that you're worried about, automatically when the thing comes up and you think about it, you're starting to worry about it, turn the switch off and remind yourself, oh right, I'm trusting about that process. I'm trusting it's going to work out as it's supposed to, because worry is like a rocking chair. It will not get me anywhere. Right? So I'm not going to put any more of my focus into that thing, fill in the blank, whatever it is. And the third thing that we can do is raise your vibration. And this is a Sahaja yoga technique. And Sahaja yogis would practice this as they were seated. And again, it's something that I've used with my meditation students that works really great. So you want to start with your left hand, and you're going to take your left hand down by your groin area, and you just want to take that hand and it's going to float up your body as if it's raising your whole consciousness, and that hand will is just going to bring itself straight up. Your right hand is going to do a twirl around that hand, so go in front of the hand and swirl around. Okay, you're going to start down at your groin area, and you'll start to swirl. You're going to do this 3 times. You're just going to take that hand up. I don't have the camera back far enough so that you can really get the whole thing in, but just right up and over your head. And then imagine tying a knot as if you've tied the energy up there. So you've lifted your energy up and you've tied it at the top of the head so it can't go back down again. And we'll do that 3 times in total. So we're taking that right hand, we're swirling it around the left. And all we're doing here is we're raising our Kundalini. We're getting the energy to move up higher. We've done that 2 times now. We're going to do it 1 more time. The 3rd time, up and up, 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 all that energy all the way up. And then we tie it off up there. So now we've got 3 things that we've lifted our energy. We've lifted our Kundalini, our spirit, so we feel a lot better of what's happening. Now consider your worry. Has it changed? Hopefully the answer is yes. If not, replay this video, write down some notes on some of the things that we've talked about and add that in. The other thing to remember, and I think it was Bob Proctor maybe who said this, I don't know, so many people have said it over the years, but they say this thing, which is kick people out of the rent-free space in your mind. For the most part, we might not have control over all of our thoughts, but we can control our thoughts. We are not our thoughts, but we have thoughts. So in this space in our mind, when we have a blip of time where we aren't really thinking about anything, is usually when these worries pop in. So allow yourself to kick the renters out of that space and fill it with something more positive. I like to use Gandhi's phrase, I will not allow anyone to walk through my mind with their dirty feet. And I say this over and over again, I will not allow anyone to walk through my mind with their dirty feet. And in doing so, in thinking this way, we've allowed the person to get out of our mind, get their dirty feet out of my mind. That's not my worry, that's not my concern. I'm here to work on me and nothing more. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it, please hang around. We're going to do a little bit of information on that energy companion. I'm going to send you the link next to give you a little bit more information about what we introduce in the book, but you're basically starting to get an idea of this is what's in that program. It's a fantastic program. It comes from years of research, years of studying. I've been doing this for over 25 years. So it comes from all of those years of study, all those years of research, of spending time working with people on Reiki, in counseling sessions, in this type of thing where we're just talking and using intuition. It's got all of this information jam-packed into this book, which is an ebook, all digital product, but it will help you to decipher what messages your body is sending to you. And it will also give you some information of basic energy work, basic chakra work, and how we can kind of start to shift and change some of these things. Very similar to the exercises that we did here today. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching. Again, we'll be in touch very soon, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic week. Thank you again, and I hope that you are so blessed. And namaste. Take care.